Now at 5, we are tracking the potential for some strong to severe storms during the evening hours.
Plus, Jasper County authorities say a person of interest in a fatal stabbing investigation is now in custody. And
a high-stakes State of the Union. I'm Natalie Brand with the issues President Biden will focus on tonight as he makes a case for another term.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
We're tracking some severe weather threats. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we are officially in severe weather season now that it is March, and we do have a severe thunderstorm watch, and this is effect across southeastern Kansas, northeastern parts of Oklahoma until 9 p.m. But I do think everybody will get showers and thunderstorms again later on tonight. Look at the clouds. They've started to break up a little bit, so we're getting a little bit of sunshine, and that kind of destabilizes the atmosphere a bit. We do have a strong storm with some small hail just to the west of Iola. This is pushing east at about 40 miles per hour. And then we're keeping our eyes on these guys, southern Chautauqua County, another one just south of Wichita. These are fighting the drier air just a bit, but I do think they'll get going as we go through the evening hours. In fact, we have our Skywatch storm tracker out. We're going to be doing this a lot this spring in Independence. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney, she's out in Independence, Kansas. Tell us what you see right now.
So I'm out, in Independence. We're seeing some mostly blue skies right now. Behind me, you can see some clouds rolling by. That's where we're going to see the potential for the severe weather today. And we're going to keep you guys updated as we stay out here and keep tracking that system.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. We obviously don't want our trackers out after dark, so we're going to keep them out for the next couple hours and bring them back in. But these storms are going to continue to develop back to the west of Oklahoma City, and a big line is going to drive through later on tonight. So I'm going to have all these details for you coming up here in just a bit.
See you soon. It is Severe Weather Preparedness Week. Authorities take this time to highlight the importance of having a basic disaster supply kit ready in case of severe weather. The Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Dunaweg Fire Department advise having water and non-perishable food, a weather radio, a flashlight, batteries, and a first aid kit in your bug-out bag, as they call them. A whistle to signal for help. Medications and supplies for your pets are also important items to keep handy.
At least have a day supply, just in case you get trapped somewhere, and just be ready for the worst and hope for the best.
I had kind of always shied away from the idea of being a quote-unquote prepper, and that ended that for me. I was like, there's no stigma attached to that. That's just preparation.
Cash, including change, could also be handy to have in that bug-out bag. Carl Junction Police Department says the city's storm sirens are not currently working, but they are working to get those fixed. And you can also get your severe weather alerts right here on KOAM and in our KOAM Skywatch weather app. It's absolutely free of charge. It's the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Jasper County authorities say a person of interest in a fatal stabbing investigation is in custody, but the suspect is still on the loose. They've arrested Paul Phillips Jr. of Seneca, a person of interest in the stabbing death of Seth Langford. Authorities in Cherokee County, Kansas yesterday gave chase to a vehicle that went to a home in Jasper County, Missouri. They surrounded the property and eventually broke in with a battering ram. They didn't find anyone in that home, but later found Phillips at a nearby house. Authorities are still searching for Scott Burleson of Wyandotte, Oklahoma. That's the man they've charged with second-degree murder in that case. Plans for a new theater complex in Joplin are progressing. The city says applications for a $12 million building permit have been filed to construct the B&B Theater's Luxury Entertainment Center. It'll be at 32nd Street Place development. Officials say the center will include 8 screens, heated reclining seats, and a full bar and food menu. It'll be part of a larger complex. It'll include a Menards home improvement store and a 250-unit apartment complex. Once a year, the President of the United States is required to inform Congress about the state of our union. Tonight, President Biden will do that for a third time, talking to lawmakers and the American people about where the country stands and what he still wants to accomplish in office. Natalie Brand has more details from Capitol Hill.
The President of the United States.
As President Biden steps before Congress and the American public tonight, the stakes are higher as he sells his vision for another 4 years. In a new CBS News poll, most Americans describe the country as divided.
The State of the Union is a catastrophe.
Chaotic, disorganized.
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
Facing low approval ratings, the president is expected to make the case the economy is improving. Tonight, he'll call on Congress to increase Medicare's ability to negotiate prescription drug prices and expand caps on prescription drugs. He'll also pitch raising the corporate minimum tax rate to 21%. And he'll highlight legislative accomplishments like the bipartisan infrastructure bill.
These things don't sell themselves. That's part of why tonight is so important. This is a chance for the president to talk about the strides that our economy has made under his leadership, adding more jobs than any president ever.
Even though this is an official speech, the president will focus on key issues already weighing heavily on the 2024 election.
He's going to try to take this immigration issue and turn it against the Republicans.
The president has urged Congress to take up the bipartisan border security deal that fell apart last month. House Speaker Mike Johnson says the Biden administration let the problem get out of control.
The white ribbons, what we're wearing today, is in honor of the Angel families. They're American citizens, American families. We're losing family members to brutal murders and violence because illegal aliens are being allowed out into the streets.
Another source of division, the fall of Roe versus Wade. Among the First Lady's guests tonight will be a Texas mother denied an abortion to end a high-risk pregnancy. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Alabama Senator Katie Britt has been chosen to deliver the Republican response. Still ahead, the sleep habits of teenagers.
America's teens aren't getting nearly enough sleep. I'm Michael George with the toll that's taking on their mental health.
Plus, the FDA approves the first ever over-the-counter blood glucose monitor. Those stories next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, the FDA has approved the first over-the-counter continuous glucose monitor for Americans with type 2 diabetes. Stelo works with a smartphone app to monitor blood, record, and analyze blood sugar levels. The device maker says the estimated 25 million non-insulin dependent diabetics could benefit from continuous glucose monitoring. In this case, the sensor device is worn on the back of the upper arm, replacing the need for finger pricks. Upping your daily step count could offset the negative effects of sitting all day. That's according to a study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. Researchers looked at data from more than 72,000 people. They found getting 9 to 10,000 steps per day lowered the risk of cardiovascular disease and the odds of dying in those who are sedentary most of the day. Researchers say the findings don't endorse sitting for long periods of time, but it does show any movement helps. If you're the parent of a teenager, you already know this, they're not getting enough sleep. Well, new research results released in conjunction with March Sleep Awareness Week detail how lack of sleep can be harmful to a teen's mental health. Michael George reports.
16-year-old Dom Salibi is trying to balance school, homework, and sports. One thing that's hard to find time for, sleep.
When you don't get enough sleep, how does that affect you?
I think that towards like the end of the day in school, I start to get like really tired, and it's very hard for me to pay attention to what I need to learn in class.
Dom says a lack of sleep can also affect him emotionally.
Yeah, it does impact my mental health. I find myself to maybe be more angry at times when I don't get enough sleep.
The National Sleep Foundation's Sleep in America poll finds 8 in 10 teens aren't getting enough sleep.
We see that the typical teen is getting an F for their practice of healthy sleep behaviors.
Dr. Joseph Derzhevsky says the survey also shows teens who have trouble falling or staying asleep have significantly more symptoms of depression.
Teens who are getting that ever important 8 to 10 hours of sleep on school nights were less likely to experience depressive symptoms than teens who were not getting the 8 to 10 hours on school nights.
Sleep is even more important for teens because their circadian rhythms change at that age. But there are things young people can do to improve their night's rest. Exercise more, don't eat heavy meals right before bed, and put away the phone when it's time for sleep. Dom and his mother Latavia admit that's not easy.
It's something that I've just gotten used to over the years, is just being on my phone.
I personally don't like the fact that he has his phone before he goes to bed, but he says that it helps him sleep here. I don't believe that.
Just a few more hours of Z's can help everyone wake up in a brighter mood. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
The study also found teens who start school before 8:30 a.m. also showed more signs of depression. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, how this weekend's time change could make the roads less safe.
Plus, we have a severe threat with thunderstorms rolling through this evening. All those details coming up next. Well, of course, we got the rain for us late last night through the morning hours. Showers, thunderstorms across the region, and a good chunk of us got good amounts of rain, which is something we really need, especially in the spring months, March, April, May, into the first half of June. A lot of clouds. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Now, tonight, this is our first severe weather event of the spring season. So in the yellow, this is a level 2 out of 5. So here's what we're looking at. Severe threat really from now until about midnight. Main threat's going to be wind and hail, but we do have a low tornado threat. I'm going to keep all the risks low right now, but it is definitely something we need to watch. All right, severe thunderstorm watch till 9 p.m. So this is Kansas, Oklahoma, extends west toward Wichita, and as our first batch rolled out that we had early this afternoon, notice the clouds. They've broken up, so we're getting some sunshine. And we have a warm front that is draped right through the region. So that is what has helped firing off some showers and thunderstorms as we go through the evening hours. The metro, fine right now. We do have a very intense storm. We have, this is just below severe limits, just southeast of Iola, over toward Humboldt, and you can see them kind of back building Chanute, and then toward Fredonia. We have another batch that is building in Chautauqua County, and this is right along the front. So this storm here, as it moves east into Montgomery County, it will have the potential to go severe as we go through about the next 30 to 45 minutes. We do have our Skywatch storm tracker out there. I got meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney in Independence. So Lindsay, are you seeing the clouds kind of darken up to the west with that storm approaching you?
Yes, we've got some clouds. The west is right behind me, and that's firing off a storm out in the county west of us right now. We're getting actually a bit of a chill with the outflow coming from that system. But right above us, it's pretty clear, but we'll continue to track the system moving through our area.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. So what we're going to do this spring, we're going to have our storm tracker out on all severe weather events that we can get. So I'll most likely get them behind this storm pushing east, and we can get a really good idea, especially during the 6 o'clock news, what it's doing. These are continuing to build south of Wichita, Winfield, and then back through north central parts of Oklahoma, all along our front. So these are really going to flare up over the next couple hours. Our main threat's going to be very large hail, gusty winds, but again, we can't rule out an isolated tornado or two. Look at the front. So you see the wind shift line right through Independence. And that's why Lindsay said it got just a little bit cooler in Independence, because they're sitting right on that front. All right, let's go through time. Thunderstorms driving through. Here's 8 p.m. continuing through the overnight hours. I think after 11 or midnight, severe threat drops. Thunderstorms exit the region. We'll have some showers in the morning hours, and then rain, a colder rain, will pick up once we get into the afternoon. So Friday is going to be a very wet day. Now Friday night, we may even get a few flakes of snow mixing in, and then much colder by the time we head into Saturday. Additional rainfall amounts, a lot of us are going to pick up a ½ inch, upwards to 1 inch, which of course we need this time of the year. But this is a pretty big storm system. Remember in the pattern, this will repeat late April, so that will be even a bigger severe threat. Here's the upper level low as it heads toward us. And then once we get into the weekend, we clear out, but it's going to be quite a bit cooler. Look at our highs on Saturday, only right around 50 degrees. Let's go 58 tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms, 52 on Saturday. Clocks, they jump forward 1 hour Saturday night. Sunday looks great, 62, and it won't get dark until almost 8 p.m., which is going to be really nice. And of course, keep it here, KOAM. Make sure you have our Skywatch weather app, and we'll keep you updated with any severe threat.
Tonight and throughout the storm season and year-round, for that matter.
Yep.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, a new report shows Americans' credit scores dropped for the first time in a decade. Topping today's Consumer Watch for the first time in a decade, there's been a decrease in U.S. consumer credit scores. FICO, an analytics company that determines borrower strength, says the national average score dropped from 718 in July to 717 in October. The last time this happened was in 2013, when the average FICO score fell 2 points to 690. Many economists say this 1 point dip isn't an economic red flag, but it can be seen as a sign that some U.S. households are feeling economic stress. The FDA has expanded its investigation into tainted cinnamon products. Agency experts now say lead contamination extends beyond the cinnamon applesauce pouches that were recalled in October. The FDA announced its expanding testing has identified several brands of ground cinnamon containing elevated levels of lead. It now recommends recalls of ground cinnamon from 6 distributors. Those include the following brands: La Fiesta, Markham, MTCI, Swad, Supreme Tradition, and El Chilar. The time change this weekend often leads to less sleep for many people, most of us probably, and a new study shows driving drowsy, well, that can have deadly consequences. Dina Demetrius reports.
This dash cam video shows what can happen when a tired driver gets behind the wheel. No one was hurt in this accident, but drowsy driving can have deadly consequences.
She was a kind and good person.
Jennifer Pierce lost her sister Nicole in 2008. The college freshman was riding with a driver who fell asleep at the wheel and slammed into a tree.
We got a call saying that she did not survive the crash, and we were not able to say goodbye.
New research from AAA shows 18% of all traffic fatalities between 2017 and 2021 involved drowsy driving, accounting for nearly 30,000 deaths.
It's even worse than we thought. With the time change coming up this weekend, there will be more people driving with less sleep.
A study in 2020 found fatal crashes increased 6% the week after clocks bring forward 1 hour.
If you're driving and you're noticing some of the symptoms of drowsy driving, which could be frequent blinking, nodding off, distraction, you're missing exits, you need to get off the road.
Experts say it's important for drivers to get at least 7 hours of sleep before getting behind the wheel.
There will always be an empty seat at every family gathering. There will always be stages of her life that she will not get to live.
Pierce says she's sharing her story to make sure other families don't have to experience that loss. Dina Demetrius, CBS News, Los Angeles.
A final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, more on how President Biden is preparing for tonight's State of the Union address. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to hear more from emergency management officials on preparing for severe weather season. And the Joplin Outlaws announced they're changing leagues. Big news. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Students at White Rock Elementary in McDonald County came face to face with some exotic animals this afternoon. Look at those expressions. The furry, feathery, and scaly animals are from the Dickerson Park Zoo in Springfield. The event was inspired by the Dr. Seuss novel If I Ran the Zoo. According to faculty, the presence of the animals sparks students' curiosity, gets them asking questions. Overall, the goal is to get students just more engaged and exciting about learning.
It's fun to see like our junior high kids get excited about it, our pre-K kids get excited about it. Even our kitchen staff and our office staff are all voting on it too. So it's like the whole school is just like pumped up with the energy of reading and enjoying a good book.
What fun. The animals showcased include a chinchilla, also a ball python, and this Swainson's hawk. Quite an eclectic mixer. I don't know how the animals feel about each other. Presumably, they kept them separated if there was any sort of a prey-predator relationship.
That would be a good idea.
The weather looking possibly nasty tonight.
Yeah, we do have a severe threat. Look at these storms really blossoming southeastern Kansas and then back along the Kansas-Oklahoma state line. These are going to continue to flare up over the next couple hours. Showers and thunderstorms again for us tomorrow.
Be careful out there. We'll see you at 6. Let's make it a great evening.